All right, we're live. So, this is Southern Classics podcast episode 1, and got Matt Brady, my father, which I don't know if y'all know him yet or not. I don't think y'all do. And then you got Hayden, Morris. That's my partner in crime, partner in hunting. So, we're gonna get right into it.
I think he's been in the.
I think he's been in it a little bit.
Well, you called him in the last video.
Yeah. If y'all watched the last video, you see when I'm on the phone, I call him, and
First person.
yeah, first person I called, told him I had a deer down. So
I was busy picking up quail for a quail hunt.
yeah. All right, so a question we get asked a lot, and then I think we're gonna get asked more and more as we get bigger.
Already been asked a lot.
Yeah. So what is Southern Classics? So, in your words, what is Southern Classics?
If I had to put Southern Classics into a couple of words, I would say it's a way for us to show other people our love for hunting.
Yeah.
All types of hunting. We just it really hit us pretty hard.
Love the outdoors.
It hit us pretty hard. Our passion and love that God has given us, and I think it's a way that we can show other people what we killed and just show our friendship and
Yeah, show the ride and show the journey.
Highs,
Show the
lows.
journey.
There's highs, lows. There's
I absolutely agree. Hunting is like one of the things. If you're a hunter, which I know you can back this up, is without a doubt you're going to have a year where you might not see anything, you might not kill anything. We've had plenty of those, and then you'll have a year like you had last year, which we didn't have it on video, but killed 2 monsters, and
we hadn't really started yet.
That's like right before we started. We started like a month after, a few weeks after. So, and I know that's something that you can definitely relate to. It would been hunting like so long.
Well, coming from my background, so my dad didn't hunt, and it was a guy in the church where I grew up that was really into outdoors, and he took me deer hunting. And man, the bug bit me bad. And so I had an uncle and cousin that started taking me. And back then there were only 2 doe days a year. And they were like day after Thanksgiving and then New Year's Day or something like that.
Wow.
And you could only kill like 2 deer or 3 deer a year. I can't remember exactly. But we're talking about 1979, 1980.
Mm-hmm. That was back when the population was low.
Yeah. I mean, and growing up where I grew up in Cobb County, it's never had a gun season because of the population.
Oh yeah, I always wonder why they always have them like excluded.
Well, because of population when you get around the metro Atlanta area. That's why you see so many people bow hunting now, because the population has grown in these inner city areas. There's like these little pockets of deer that are not being hunted.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are geniuses. They've stumbled on that. They're going around getting permission, and they're hunting 3-acre blocks in between subdivisions. And I mean, they're slaying muy grandes.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the biggest guys that are doing that right now is somebody that I know we look up to, who really helped us get started. Is Seek One, and that's what they do. And the thing is, like, yeah, they kill giant deer that's not hunted. Ours is a completely different ball game. What we're trying to do.
We're more in rural areas, big fields, and I think what we're really trying to do is, Seek One. We love Seek One, and it inspired us and gave us the love for it. But we're really trying to show a more, I don't want to say realistic, but every hunter isn't killing.
You're not going to exactly, and I know that's what the media loves to watch, and that I'm not gonna lie, that's what I love to watch. But also, what I like to give people and show people is the real deal. Like, yeah, the deer I killed isn't a booner or anything like that. I mean, it might score a little over 100 inches, maybe 110, maybe 115, but the fact of everything leading up to that point, and on one of my last days of being able to hunt this year, being able to kill that was absolutely insane. And I don't know if people will really understand that,
Well, what happens is people watch those videos and they think that's the way it is for everybody.
Exactly.
And they don't understand that there is a lot of fair chase out there. A lot of that stuff is high fence. You don't see all that.
Yeah,
you don't see that it's advertisement for hunting ranches. And I'm good with all that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blasting any of that kind of stuff. But this is just real life, get home from a football game at 1 o'clock in the morning and drive an hour and a half to deer camp and 2.5 hours sleep. You get up and hunt. It's getting off of work and getting out of the office at 3 o'clock after the time has changed and, get an hour and 45 minutes in a stand where you drive to a little 60-acre block of woods. And the reality, if you look over my left shoulder, there's like a hat rack. And you start at the bottom, and that's the first buck I ever killed. And I was 21 years old. I'm 57. Well, I got a 140 class hanging in there on my fireplace that I killed several years ago. But I'm just as proud of that one because, honestly,
you put in the same amount of work for that one.
Actually, I worked a lot harder for that one.
Exactly.
And, I mean, it was before box stands. This is where you look for rubs, you look for scrape lines, and you set up. Actually, that was killed on public land. It was killed on the Oconee National Forest in Putnam County, Georgia.
Okay.
And, I mean, running wide open. Honestly, I killed a doe when I was 15. I killed him when I was 21 and never even had a shot at another deer in between that because there wasn't a whole lot of deer unless you were spending mega dollars on joining some prestigious hunting club. So, and I didn't have that money. I didn't have that background of a family that was into it like that. So I earned that buck. And, all those are bucks I've killed through the year in Alabama and Georgia and places. I'm proud of all of them. They're different. They've all got stories. And I think that's what Southern Classic does is it shows the story of our life when it comes to what we enjoy. Now, we have a passion, but our ultimate love is for Lord Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
And that's what gives us our foundation. But God said that he gave the animals to man to have dominion over them.
Yeah.
And so we don't believe, if we shoot something, I'm going to work to the absolute end. I don't care if it's a dove in a field. I'll stop shooting until I find that bird, or I'll be miserable knowing I didn't find it.
I know, and that's something I've started used to whenever we'd be hunting and everything, and there might have been like probably my first deer that I shot at. It was a doe.
Yep.
I ended up shooting low. I cut
white hair.
Yeah, I cut hair off the stomach of it. But I'm telling you, we were out there for hours, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what is the point? I didn't kill it, didn't hit it. Let's leave. But now, as I've grown and started doing it more, is I realize how he was thinking, and you put all this work in and do it. And I didn't put the work in that time, so he just took me out there. But when you put the work in and everything like that, and you take a shot like last year, the year before last or whatever, whenever I shot that small buck, there was a point that and because Dalton had shot one the day before and missed, and we couldn't find any blood or anything. Well, that one found some blood, but it took us a little longer than I expected. But
I can't stand the thought of laying down thinking there's an animal hurting.
Yeah, exactly. That's another point. If
we are about ethics, ethical hunting, ethical living, doing things that honors God's creation. So, there's nothing that makes me madder than somebody that just is uncaring about it. Yep. Poachers are the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the worst. Put them all into jail.
Yeah. Yeah, and like this year, I shot that 8-point. I mean, dropped him dead in his tracks. But a lot of stuff you didn't see on camera was that I didn't kill him immediately. He might have dropped, but I think he was just paralyzed maybe, or just had a paralyzed leg or something, but he couldn't get up. But he was still, and we were struggling trying to film, trying to do everything and make sure he didn't get away, but I didn't want him to sit there suffering. So I actually had Hayden run to my truck while I'm filming and talking to Dad on the phone, asking him what to do, and grab my pistol because I couldn't shoot him with my gun, with my rifle from that distance and get a good shot because I was planning on mounting him. So I had him run to my truck and get my pistol. So I went out there and just put him down. So he was done. But that's kind of what we're about here. And
to go off something that he said about how our main goal is to give glory to Jesus Christ, I don't think that some of these bigger platforms, I'm not saying, I mean, not bashing them by any means.
Yeah.
But I just don't think there's a platform out there that does it how we want to do it. I don't think Seek One, they've made known them in there.
Well, there's a lot of really good hunting and fish shows. You got to understand, I grew up Saturday. I watched Bill Dance and Roland Martin on Saturday. There was no hunting shows. And then we started getting a few hunting shows with Nightingale. And, most of them we had to watch
there's also no
on
YouTube.
VHS.
Yeah, there's no YouTube. We had
to rent the VHS stuff. I mean, I would sit there for hours trying to learn how to call a turkey.
Yeah.
The cool thing about all that for me is remembering when we'd come home from church on Sunday night and it was really quiet and we lived in the country. And we'd come home and you was 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I would stand there and I would owl hoot and the owl would call back.
And I remember that vividly.
You're like, Dad, you're talking to the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd howl and get the coach to howl back.
I thought he was Dr. Doolittle.
And so, now you're understanding that aspect in its pureness of doing it in the hunting sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to look back and remember those days. And when we wasn't even hunting, we'd stand out here in the back deck, at night. And
then it's just like he said, though. He told me the other day, he was like, right after we had, you were calling that gobbler, and you're like, hey, that was God. I mean,
no. And that's what I was going to say was like, for one, I picked up, I've kind of messed around with turkey calls and stuff over the years, but last year was when I got some diaphragm calls and I got serious about it. And I've been practicing a lot and everything like that, and I just wasn't super confident, I guess you would say, about my calling, especially with the diaphragm because that's like the hardest. But they didn't give me a choice, which y'all see in the video, hopefully, but they would not respond to anything. They wouldn't respond to my slate, not my box call, only my diaphragm.
I thought the slate was
it sounded the best, but
it doesn't matter what sounds the best to us.
But I think that the diaphragm gave it a little real aspect with a little bit of different sounds. But we had about 5 hens in front of us, and 75 yards. So I started calling a little bit. I started getting a little more aggressive because the rooster, or not the rooster, but the gobbler wasn't going to come to us. He was not going to come to us with 5 hens around him, with real hens. He's not coming to a decoy. No. So I was like, I got to get the hens to me. Mm-hmm. If I get the hens, maybe he'll come. Maybe he won't, maybe he will, but that's the only chance I got. No. So I started getting a little aggressive. And then I see a hen start coming at me. Not going at the decoy that's about 40 yards to our right, or really straight ahead of us there to our left. But she started coming at me, and I'm freaking out, but I'm like, all right, let's just roll with it. So I started copying her, just getting more aggressive. And then before I know it, I said, Hayden, this hen's right in front of us at like 25 yards.
Just 25 yards.
And I said, I'm not calling anymore because I'm scared she's going to get on top of me. But that part was crazy.
You could hardly do 2 or 3 times in a row.
Exactly, like that's the problem. I was practicing cutting a lot the week before, trying to cut.
Here's the cool thing about all that. I wasn't there, but I watched the video, and I mean, it looks like you did everything pretty textbook. I told y'all, I called you in there the night before. I said, whatever you do, don't get too close. Try to figure out where to get. And but one of the number one rules that most young turkey hunters make is they call too much. But the thing that I think that y'all realize, it doesn't matter if you do everything stinking perfect.
Oh, no.
Sometimes you're just not going to make the kill.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's not going to happen. We drove all the way to Kansas. I mean, round trip 3,000 miles. And the second that I took my focus off, I about stepped on 2 wild pheasant.
Yep.
And they're gone before you can get your gun up.
They're big birds, but they get away quick.
I've told y'all from the very start. You realized last week. It's called hunting, not killing.
Exactly, and that's
but it's embracing that the fun is hunting, not always killing.
Yeah,
like
and that's
said,
that
was just a great trip, just a great hunt in general.
It was a total success.
But that saying has been something he's told me all my life. I've been hunting, and then I started telling you that, and so now it's kind of like our motto.
Yeah,
if something doesn't go right, we don't get a kill. That's something we can go back to.
Always say
it. The thing about doing everything perfect and not getting the kill or anything, it's nice to know you didn't screw it up.
Yeah.
But it's also a little frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Because deer season, I think we did just about. I didn't say we do everything right, but we did a really good job.
Yeah, deer season.
During
deer season, recaps, but I know I messed up a couple times.
Yeah, I did too.
But
that's part of learning.
You live and learn.
Yeah. I mean, if we never made mistakes, we would never change.
I pressed turkeys. One time I called and I was bound and determined I was going to get. When he flew down, he wasn't going to take 2 steps. I was going to drop him.
Yeah.
And I pressed him, and I call, and he gobbles. And I look up, and he's over my head. Yeah. I'm literally standing under. I got too close.
Yeah.
And then there's times that I don't want to press them, and I don't get
too far, and
because you can't tell the sound sometimes the way the terrain lays.
Yeah, it's hard.
And deer, I've tried to set up on scrape lines, and sometimes it just hit perfect.
Yeah.
And he walks out the perfect way. I mean,
sometimes I think God just blesses you. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't believe in luck, but I mean, I know I've come to the realization that last year I believe God blessed me to get me into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I shot a spike. My second buck I put on the ground is a 10-point, and I mean, most people don't kill a 10-point. Their whole life.
And he was a big 10.
I mean, I think he was a big 10. 120-inch 10-point.
Which y'all see, I think we have it on our Instagram.
Yeah,
we have pictures of we had named him Hercules.
Yeah.
When you get to my age, you realize that it's not even in the 10-point. That any day above ground's a good day.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a believer, any day,
whether it's here in eternity, it's a good day. We're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But the older you get, the rides home with an empty truck bed is not as hard because it's not, you've enjoyed the day. God's blessed you. I don't care if it's pouring down rain. I don't care if the birds aren't flying good. Afternoon in the dove field or watching the dogs work. Whatever it is, a day on the lake, they say, is better than a day at work.
Mm-hmm.
So, you learn to enjoy the small things. You enjoy, just being with friends, being with family. You enjoy, the quietness. We live in a busy, busy world, and it's just noise. Wow. It's noise everywhere, radios and phones, computers. But, man, that morning when the sun breaks and you're sitting in a deer stand,
looking at God's creation,
or you're sitting out there and you hear an owl hoot, you may not even hear a gobble, but you just hear God's creation come to life when that sun comes up.
No,
dude, man, I mean, on a slick glass lake early in the morning, I mean, it's just the fog rising up.
And I think it's everything you just said, God's creation. But I think it's also when you say you don't kill anything or don't catch anything. I think it's still a part of it is the chase, like we talked about. I mean,
the anticipation.
It's still out there.
Yeah, the anticipation.
And just even with, I know we wanted to talk about our hunts, and this deer season was not the best for me by any means. I had 2 shooter bucks walk within 50 yards, and one at 75, one at 30, and just
couldn't get them.
No, I mean just worried about filming and this and that, and then making mistakes.
That's the thing. I mean, you're new to hunting. I mean, 2 years you're learning really quick, and I mean I've been doing it for a while, but the filming aspect
it's a lot harder.
It changes the game
big time
because but it makes you better though. I think
it makes you love it more. I mean, it gives you something that before when a doe would come in, you're like, there's a doe. Now, I mean, you're trying to
grabbing your camera, you're trying to get it.
Filming the leaves shaking.
Exactly.
You're filming the rain coming down. I mean, it totally changes the game, but it changes it in a way that I've come to love.
Yeah.
I think is a main reason we're starting this channel.
Yeah.
Life, and I try to instill in y'all, and it goes with hunting, it goes with going on vacation. Life's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the little things. Get on the back streets. Go through the little towns. Eat in the no-name cafes and restaurants.
That's my favorite part.
One of our family rules is we go out of town. You can't eat at a restaurant that we got here.
Exactly.
Which we don't have much here. But
shout out Denny's.
Enjoy the little things. Enjoy the ride. The fellowship of riding a deer camp, or coming home, rehearsing the hunt. What I did right, what I did wrong. Dude, I cannot believe we just killed that.
Yeah. Leaving at 11:30. Anything the drives we don't want to make.
Man, I don't miss that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you the worst part was opening day, man.
Oh, bad.
Hayden had a football game in Atlanta.
Trinity Christian.
So that's about 3 hours from Douglas where we hunt?
4 hours.
4 hours.
It was...
And then so he's there. I'm here at the house and we're trying to coordinate because we want to try to get there around the same time. And I end up not leaving because I'm trying to leave when he's about an hour and a half away. I don't end up leaving here till probably 2:30.
Yeah.
Get there at 3:30 or 4.
You just got your head beat in
after a football game.
Sweaty. You take a shower.
Yep. In a car for 4 hours. Then you get out, go straight in, go to bed. You're still only getting 2 hours of sleep at the most
for opening day. And to be honest, it's hard to.
It's hard to focus.
It's hard to be excited too.
It is.
2 hours of sleep.
It is when you're dreading not getting sleep. It's hard, but that's another thing. When you love it, man, it's crazy. And
all it takes is to see that flick of that tail.
Oh gosh!
And all that tiredness goes away.
Oh yeah. The
adrenaline starts pumping. You start trying to say, okay, when it steps to here, does it have a rack? Is the rack what I want?
Yeah. But another thing we learned this year is that my first year doing it, I think it's yours, or maybe second, bow hunting. Bow hunting is real.
Oh gosh.
Bow hunting is real.
That's the real deal, man.
That's why I think Seek One is so. That's why never going to take anything away from them because what they do is extremely difficult. They make shots,
and I know they get better film because they're so close.
Yeah.
But you got to think that's 30 yards trying to film and trying to get a shot off, trying to range them. Everything is crazy. We're shooting them at the deer I shot was probably 150 yards, maybe 175.
That's why
and he was still on to us, man, and you could see it. Yeah. But I crossbow hunt, so everybody out there that doesn't think that's bow hunting, y'all can y'all just don't worry about it. But
it's not as hard.
I might switch over to compound, but yeah, man, it's crazy.
So many, so much stuff you have to take, and then
golly, that's the thing.
Man.
And then you get there and it's like
I started with a recurve.
Yeah, and
I started with a recurve throwing arrows.
I was about to say, I'm sorry, Daniel Boone.
Yeah,
we in the modern day.
He's sitting in my study with all the heads around it, though. I know that.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah,
so we talked about our deer seasons, and I know we wanted to talk about our turkey season. This is the third weekend.
Yeah, this coming weekend will be the third weekend.
Yeah, and we couldn't hunt. Well, we got the hunt opening day, and that's when everything happened.
Yeah, it's just
great hunt.
It's hard right now though because
I was playing ball, but
we just got crazy schedules, moving everything around, and it'd be different if we were driving 15 minutes to go hunt.
And you're driving 2 hours.
We're driving an hour 45 minutes, 2 hours every time we want to go kill some turkeys, and that's just the thing when. We don't have that many spots around here with turkeys, but we got places we know exactly. But we got places we know where the turkeys are at. It just happens to be hour 45. But I think it was a really good opening weekend.
Great opening weekend.
Which we already touched on it a lot. But just let's go through the process of what we did. From start to finish. So we woke up about hour before daylight.
Yeah.
Got out there.
Woke up, everything went smooth.
Walked across the street.
Yeah, that was
that was the money right there.
Yeah. Walked.
We probably walked
yards right behind my. I don't really want to say what it's at.
No, it's just a place we hunt and deer camp. The camp is close to it.
It was pretty cool to me. The coolest part of my experience was besides seeing the gobbler. But I mean, practice on the owl call. Trying to get good at it.
Yeah, and we used to always
throw out one.
Last year we gave each other crap about how we sounded terrible.
And I'm not saying I'm an expert.
Well, but I know that mine wasn't good, and I was like, Hayden, throw out owl call. So
the second one
gives it out. I'm like, don't hear nothing.
Yeah, I was like,
I was a little bummed, and then I was like, try it again.
I mean,
throw it out.
Just to hear that.
Got a gobble about 100 yards away, man. It was crazy.
You can see it in the video. Hopefully we have a video.
Oh, yeah. We'll have it up soon, hopefully, when we kill a turkey.
But just that excitement. I mean.
Oh, yeah. It's like whenever you hear that, it's like, it's on. Yeah. Let's go. And you can see in the video, and you can hear me in the video behind the camera.
Honestly, we didn't know what to do.
No, we didn't. And we were like, where do we go? Because he's really the turkey expert for our group and everything. He's been doing it so long. So we do that, and then we book it around the corner. It's still pretty dark. Get it set up around where we think where it's gonna happen, and then sun starts coming up. We get a decoy out.
They're going crazy. We
have
3 turkeys. I mean,
we got 3 around us. We had one to our left, in front of us, and to the right. All on the roost, probably 100, 150 yards away.
Crazy. I mean, just
and I wasn't even calling, and they were calling. And I know something that you have said in the past. You'll be getting out of your truck, and you'll slam the door, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it.
Well, I try not to slam the door, but yeah.
Or you'll just close it and do it.
I've had them gobble at thunder. I wouldn't advise hunting in thunderstorms, but
yeah, that ain't very smart.
It can thunder way off, or a noise from a neighbor or something, and they gobble.
And I think part of ours was we were right on the road, so there was so much road noise. I think that might have been setting them off, and everything I would do, we would hear.
Train came through. I forgot about
that. Train came by.
Go absolutely crazy, but so we go for about 45 minutes after about a 45-minute period of hearing. We go through another probably 30-minute period. We don't hear a thing. I mean, we are. Yeah. I guess I'll be honest. I was sitting here. I mean, I don't have his experience. I'm sitting here like,
I don't know what. I was like, I texted him. Him. Pull it up. What did I ask you?
You said they ain't said nothing. What I do?
Yeah.
And one of the things I've tried to teach y'all is that once they fly down, a lot of times they'll come in because once they gobble, it's like sonar.
Yeah.
It's like pinging in a submarine. They ping, send those waves through the water, and somebody ping it bounces off something. Well, when you call, whether it's an owl hoot or a crow call or you yelp, if he gobbles, he's not just saying I'm here. He's saying I know exactly where you're at.
Yeah, and
you are pinpointed.
And that's something I kind of forgot. And that might be where I called a little too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I did a lot too much. I did a little too much because I was worried he was going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, they fly down, and they already know where you're at. If they want to come, they're coming.
But I think
I've had
we heard
run
one.
like Usain Bolt in the Olympics. I've had them run 300 yards across a clear cut, and then I've had them gobble, and then I've had them come in completely silent.
Yeah.
And just all of a sudden you see that red head, and so once they gobble, they know where you're at. You may want to purr, everybody does it a little different. But one thing for sure for everybody is you don't want to call too much because they'll lock up and they'll get call shy.
Well, I'm not sure if we got blessed because he was with 5 or 6 hens. I mean, he wasn't.
I'm
not saying I don't know if he was.
But I think they like just staying out in that field.
Yeah,
I think they love that. We're on like a green field, and I think they just like being out there.
Mate in that, and this time of season is like the rut for turkeys.
Like
it is for deer.
Yeah,
and
that's what I try to remember.
The thing is, when it's early in the season, those hens hadn't been mated. Well, once they're mated, they won't mate again.
Yeah.
So the longer the season goes, in some ways, your statistics goes up versus after the rut, deer just shut down.
It's a lot different.
So, I mean, it's going up because them gobblers still wanting to mate.
Yeah.
And the hens are like, no, sir, I'm done. And so, the more weeks you go into the season.
Hoping we might have success.
Because they're gonna be willing to come a little further. But still, you got to be careful because turkeys have a long memory. not just for this year, but going forward. If you spook them, you'd be done.
Yeah.
For like years.
Yeah.
And so
that's something you
got to be real careful not to call too much. And once he gobbles, you better get settled in because he could pop up out of nowhere in any spot. You got to be ready once he gobbles.
Yeah, and probably 45 minutes after it went silent, I look and I say, Hayden, don't move. I see the gobbler coming over the hill, coming over the ridge with 5 hens, I think. And then all that happened. I called him in. He was just strutting for probably an hour at 75 yards. And the crazy thing is, we left out of there. They went off. We couldn't get nothing. Left at probably 9. Then we went to all our other spots, calling, seeing if we could get anything to work. Couldn't do it. Ended up going to town to get something to eat for lunch. It was probably 11:30.
Yeah.
We get a text from somebody that lives close by, and
my grandma texts me and says they're in the field, and that just,
yeah, she said they just taunting y'all. They know where y'all are at, and she said they're in the field right now. But we ended up going back, trying the rest of the day. Couldn't really get nothing going, but
it was a great hunt.
It was a really good day for turkey hunting.
But I think, honestly, I think that could be a good build for a video.
Yeah.
Any day like that is a learning experience. You build on it. It could be as simple as, just locating and sitting, 20 yards across the field or sitting 20 yards to your left. Not, you don't want to be in the same place, same time, every single time, even if they're gobbling and roosting in the same place. Move around a little bit, and then it just all lines up. And he gets a little too happy with himself.
Yeah, gets a little too excited.
He steps in that.
And that was the first time I'd ever actually even seen a wild gobbler like in a hunt.
Yeah,
last year we.
Last year, I thought they were like snipes.
Yeah.
Last year, I didn't think they existed. We couldn't get a gobble. We couldn't get nothing. He come over the hill. I'm like, wow, this is for real. But
like Ethan said, it was almost too perfect.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Everything was going. I'm like, is this like a movie or something?
After that gobbler walked back over the ridge, I said we couldn't have killed him, Hayden. It would have been too perfect. Yeah. I said it would have been. I would have been fine with it too, but I just don't think that's how it was going to happen. I think it needs to be a little struggle, but and I get that. That's just part of it.
What's really cool is, say you killed him this week or next week, it makes it even that much more satisfying that you've been working the same bird. It's like seeing that deer on the game cam and you work him, and then like the tail end of the rut, or even you go through the rut and you don't see him, and then last week of the season, he just decides that morning he's going to take a different route, and boom, there he is.
Exactly.
It's like all that time, all that effort. When you killed that deer, you told me, because I texted you and you're like, this is miserable. It's pouring down rain. It's cold. It's
miserable is an understatement.
We ain't gonna be here much longer.
Yep.
And then the next thing I know, you're calling me. You're like, dude, he's on the ground.
Yeah, that was
a lot of people don't hunt.
Yeah, and the only reason we did that, which I said in the video, was because we had been hunting somewhere else. I had been hunting somewhere else the entire year, didn't get nothing. Check that camera. He was daylighting.
Well, what'd I tell you?
But
change.
Also, another thing, like he said, though, it's my family's land. Of course, I could have shot it, but seeing Ethan kill his first mature buck, that just
it was a crazy feeling.
Hype you up right
and that's how I felt for you last year. And I was a little jealous last year. You killed 2 big ones.
Well, that's
boy.
just. I know
that's part of it. I like the competition.
I love the competition too, and it's nothing that, like he said. He's wiser than us.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the score and the points.
Yeah.
I still like it now.
We're competitors. I'm a competitive guy.
I killed a pretty good 6-pointer this year.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can
6.5-year-old
see it. It's right above his head, but it's probably the widest 6 I've ever seen. But and that's all 3 of us are really competitive.
I hunted the same land for 8 years and never pulled a trigger on a deer. I'd seen dozens and dozens and dozens of deer out there. I'd killed turkeys out there. There was one stretch I killed turkeys every year for several years out there. And it was just money. I mean, it was just like they were in cages somewhere. Turkeys were everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, now the turkeys have disappeared, and all of a sudden, doe after doe after doe, and then I looked.
And that was peak
behind
rut.
the tree.
And that was the middle of the rut
Boom,
too.
there he was, 8:30 in the morning.
And that was out of the stand that I had been hunting, but I couldn't just get to there because me and him were gone on the weekends. I told him, I said, "Hey, go try my stand," and he was like, "I don't want to take your stand and go." I said, "Just do it." Sure enough, they didn't come out for me; they came out for him. But I was so happy.
Great pride in sending that picture.
Yeah, I was happy for him, man. That was great. But that's going to about wrap it up for this episode.
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's currently 10:30 at night, but the grind is real. So we're gonna sign off, man, and I hope y'all got something out of this.
Appreciate you guys for watching.
And I mean, just gonna about wrap it up, and
I'll send y'all a bill.
but leave something in the comments if you have a topic you want us to talk about or discuss, or
really
you want our opinions on it.
One of our biggest
but
we don't want to talk about everything in the first video.
Yeah,
see,
we wanted to keep it.
The older I've gotten, I've got 2 German short hairs. Man, my passion's chasing them dogs.
Yeah,
quail hunting. We've hunted quail all over Georgia, all the way to Kansas. I'm working on a trip to South Dakota to hunt wild pheasant up there.
A lot of stuff coming.
So,
and if that's something y'all want to see, some quail hunting and running dogs, which is, I don't know if that's what y'all want to see or not.
I got to teach
if it
them how to
is,
fish.
Yeah, if y'all want to see fishing, whatever y'all want us to do or try, or you want us to film, because we do a bunch of the stuff that we don't film. But if y'all want us to try to film it and make some videos, just let us know. So, that's Southern Classix. We're out.